New interviews on a case that we have been covering extensively here on News Nation Prime. 5-year-old Summer Wells has been missing for 5 months. Her parents say she vanished within minutes from their home in Rogersville, Tennessee. But months of searching have come up empty. There have been no new leads and no evidence, not even a sighting of Summer. And suspicion has started to turn to her parents, Don and Candace Wells. They have been adamant that Summer was abducted. But tonight, the sheriff on the case says everyone is a person of interest. Correspondent Brian Entin is live tonight in Tennessee, where he spoke with Summer's dad in his first interview since he appeared on Dr. Phil. Brian.
Marnie, you know, we've talked about this case, we've covered this case, but to be on the ground here in Tennessee, you realize right away just how complex it is. All of the different personalities involved, and just the mystery that this little girl, 5 months later, is still missing. Flying into Tennessee, we weren't sure what to expect. Summer Wells has been missing for 5 months. No new leads and basically no new information since the 5-year-old vanished from her Northeast Tennessee home.
I can't find her. They've been yelling for her. She's been gone for about 10 minutes now.
Summer's been missing since June 15th, and there are definitely some people who are not happy that we've come here to dig into the case. Some people on social media basically just telling us to stay away. But there are still so many unanswered questions about where Summer is. It's now been 5 months since Summer Wells disappeared. Do your investigators know anything more now than they did 5 months ago?
We really don't know anything more, but everything's still on the table.
Hawkins County Sheriff Ronnie Lawson is in charge of the investigation.
Everybody that's involved in this case is a person of interest. We've not ruled anyone out.
Summer's dad, Don Wells, agreed to meet with us. We talked to him on the edge of his property, where Summer disappeared. What do you think happened? What does your heart tell you?
Well, I know in my heart and in my mind she was abducted. Someone snuck up there when we weren't exactly paying attention, and we don't know if they come in the basement and grabbed her, or if she stepped outside the basement, was walking or something.
You can see the Wells house up through the trees on the hill right here. Summer was home with her mom, Candace. Her younger brothers and her grandmother was also on the property. And what the family thinks happened is that someone took Summer, brought her down this steep embankment to possibly a car that was waiting in the roadway.
And I said, boys, where's your sister at? Well, she just went downstairs, Mom, to play. So I went over here like this.
Summer's mom can't count the interview room into her home in July. They went downstairs in the cluttered house and into Summer's bedroom.
But this is where Summer and little Waylon was.
This is the back door Summer may have disappeared through.
But I know I did come out here and I said, Summer, because sometimes she'll sit right here.
Do you think Candace would speak with me?
I don't know. I mean, we had to beg her, you know, to please go on Dr. Phil, because she's just so been burnt thousands of times by people. So that's why she don't want to talk to nobody, and she didn't want to go on Dr. Phil. That's why she was getting upset. Because of the way the YouTubers and other people have turned on her, they've just ruined her.
Very sorry for the occasion.
The Wells were on Dr. Phil last week, and at one point, Candace walked off.
I'm being interrogated again, and I don't want to do this anymore. Yes, I am.
We'll stop. I want you to feel comfortable.
No, and I want to go home.
I'm down.
Questions have come up about what Candace might know. Could she have gotten herself into a situation where it wasn't her fault, but...
No.
You know what I mean?
No. She's a good mother. She loves her children. She's not going to allow any situation like that. The biggest mistake she might have made is maybe choosing some wrong friends, which is, you know, it happens. But other than that, no way.
Do you think any of those wrong friends could have something to do with it?
We don't know.
I know you all have had some ups and downs in your past with alcohol and drugs. Do you think one of those people that came around could have?
No, we can't go there.
Wells says he's limited in what he can say after social services took Summer's 3 brothers from the home earlier this year. Would you mind just quickly maybe taking us for a little drive around? Just me,
Sure.
even, just so I can. I don't. I know you don't want me up there walking around, but maybe you could just drive me around.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Sir, thank you,
I appreciate it. Thank you.
You guys.
He initially agreed to take me on the property, but then changed his mind. He says he wants the focus to remain on Summer and finding whoever took her.
We love our daughter with all our hearts. We miss her. We'd do anything to have her back in that church with us that she so loves.
The sheriff says the Wells are cooperating, but that there's no evidence at this point that Summer was kidnapped or abducted.
Is it possible that Summer's parents, Candace and Dawn, had something to do with this, or have you ruled that out?
We haven't ruled anything out. Everything's possible.
And right now, detectives say they are looking for a red or maroon pickup truck that may have been in the area around the time that Summer Wells went missing. But even the sheriff today said they have no confirmation that the truck was actually there. They're not even for sure it is definitely connected. There are so many pieces of this puzzle they just haven't figured out yet. But another interesting thing, Marnie, he did confirm for me today that both of Summer's parents did pass a polygraph test.
Which is something I know a lot of people have wondered. Brian, the sheriff says everything is on the table. Everyone is a person of interest. They are not ruling anything out. So one theory out there is this thing called the cornbread mafia that we're seeing a lot on social media. What is it? What's the sheriff saying?
So the cornbread mafia is sort of rumored to be this underground mafia network in this area of drug dealers and people who pass drugs around and that kind of a thing. The sheriff says he's not totally aware of it. The Wells family says they had never even heard of it. But what was interesting on Dr. Phil is when it was brought up, that is what sparked Candace Wells to have that emotional moment and walk off screen.
Hey everybody, just wanted to check in here real quick and say hi. We're getting ready for our story tonight, our full Summer Wells investigation, which will be on at 9 o'clock Eastern on News Nation. I haven't done a live in a while. We've just been so busy, especially the last 3 days. We've just been shooting nonstop here in Tennessee, so we've been going from one place to another. I'm going to switch this. We're at the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office now. We interviewed the sheriff today here about the Summer Wells case and talked to him for quite a while. And we're just going to do our live shot here from the sheriff's office tonight because there's not a lot of cell phone service out near the Wells house. There's basically no cell phone service for our live equipment, so we needed to come somewhere where we had some more. Yeah, it's been a really interesting couple of days. Sorry, I'm reading some of your comments at the same time. Yeah, thanks for keeping an eye on me. Thanks for everybody who sent me crazy stuff that's popped up. We're keeping an eye on it, so thank you. It's been a long couple of days. Took a while for us to finally get Don Wells to talk with us, but he did. And there was a little bit of that interview that we used yesterday. But you'll see sort of most of it tonight, most of the stuff that was new and interesting in our story that airs tonight at 9 o'clock Eastern. We were hoping to talk to Candace, but and she was in the house, but he said that she's just too emotional coming off of the Dr. Phil interview. So that did not happen. And it was interesting. He agreed on camera to take us on the property and show us around, but then some other stuff happened, and you'll see all that in the story tonight. But it was kind of interesting the way it all unfolded. So for the people asking me who is Summer, I know a lot of you don't know much about the case. I'll just kind of give you the quick backstory, so you know if you're going to watch it tonight, kind of why we're here. Summer Wells went missing 5 months ago yesterday. It was the 5-month anniversary here in Hawkins County, Tennessee. Really, really strange case. Basically, according to her family, she was in the house. She had been outside in this area. She was in the house in this very, very rural part of Tennessee here in Hawkins County. It was her mom who was home, Candace, her brothers, her brothers who were also young, and the grandmother was also on the property. And according to the family, this little girl basically just vanished out of thin air. No one seems to know what happened to her. They live again in a rural area. It was interesting to see with my own eyes. It's very, very steep, the terrain. They live sort of up on top of a big hill, and no one seems to know what happened to Summer. So it's very, very strange. Yeah, YouTube TV does have News Nation. Thank you guys for checking it out. I have not seen the grandma. She is apparently also there at the house. But you'll see kind of how all that went down tonight in the story in terms of us trying to see more stuff. A lot of you have been asking me for Gabby Petito investigation updates. Still nothing. I still check on it every day. I've got sort of some different beat calls that I make to see if there's any updates. Still nothing new from the FBI. So nothing new to report in that department. I'm hoping to have something for you guys soon. So I am told, some of you asking about Hunter and his mother, and if you've been following this, forgive me for those of you who haven't been following the Summer Wells case closely, you might be confused what we're talking about. But Hunter has apparently, at least according to the people I've talked to here, is no longer in town right now. I did go to his mom's house tonight and talk to her tonight for a bit. Yeah, I do try to stay open-minded. Thanks for noticing that. Yeah, I just try to be respectful to everyone I interview and stay open-minded, and I just want people to tell me the truth and what their stories are. So I find that just being respectful and open-minded, and that seems to work the best way for me. So yes, Jennifer Coffendoffer will be on tonight on the show with us on News Nation. She's also been really, really into the Summer Wells case. She knows way more than me even. I called her a couple times today, just like running some things by her, because she knows like every little detail. And she'll be on tonight discussing everything. So, and then we may do like an after the show chat also, if we can arrange that. I'll also be on Banfield tonight talking about the Summer Wells case. I'm really hoping, again, for those of you that follow the case, you know a lot about it. You know what Summer looks like. I've known because thanks to everybody and all you guys on Twitter sending me, I didn't even know about it until everybody started tweeting me about it and telling me about it in DMs. So I think there's still a lot of people that don't know about the case. It's probably changed a little bit with Dr. Phil because he has such a big audience. But anyway, what I was getting at is I just hope, my main point of being here and doing this story is I hope that it spreads awareness, that people see her picture, that they see the videos and the mannerisms. She could be alive. She could be somewhere. No one knows. So I think if we can just get the word out, she could be in another state. We really don't know. So that's the main point of being here. I mean, you think about the little girl in Australia we did the story on who was abducted and then found alive in that man's house. I mean, you know, that could be the situation with Summer. So that's why I'm here. I just want people to be on the lookout. Yeah, I'll also be on Banfield tonight. Yep, I'll be on Banfield at 10 o'clock Eastern tonight also, so. I did, for those of you saying to go on YouTube and listen to Don Wells on YouTube late last night, I did hear that. That was definitely interesting, especially considering we had just interviewed him that day, yesterday, and he was saying that he wasn't going to go on YouTube anymore, and then there he was. So that was interesting. For those of you again that aren't following the case closely, one of the really interesting things about this situation that I haven't seen in other cases like this is Don Wells, Summer's dad, goes on YouTube late at night. He's known to frequent YouTube, and he goes on different YouTube shows and just sort of, you know, it could be midnight, it could be 11 p.m. He just sort of ends up on there and just starts talking. And some of it can get pretty wild. So I did ask him, because during our interview, and you'll see some of this tonight, one of his big gripes was that they get treated unfairly, and that, you know, the YouTube community is ruining their life. And I'm just like, well, then why do you keep going on YouTube? It's almost like he fuels it himself. And he just said he gets lonely at night. And in the beginning, he said he thought that it would help going on YouTube and the different YouTube channels. But that he realized it wasn't helping. But then after we had that whole talk, he ended up on YouTube last night again. So again, it's all very interesting. And those of you who have been following, I see a lot of your comments. Those of you who have been following the case a lot longer than me know a lot more about this stuff in terms of his YouTube involvement and stuff, because I know he's been doing this for a while. There's a lot that I haven't even seen yet. I did not see that Barty Shahani's funeral was today. I've been so wrapped up in this Summer Wells case and didn't have service a lot of the day because we were out in the mountains. But that is such a sad story. Everything from that Astroworld story I'm still thinking about. We've had other people covering it, and we'll stay on top of it. I'll kind of bounce around to other stories, but go back and revisit things like Astroworld, because there's still so many unanswered questions and so many sad components to that. So I did see the dogs. Some of you asking about the Wells dogs. Yeah, they were all out there just kind of running around. Some of you asking about the scent, the dogs, the tracker dogs that got a scent on Summer down the hill there. Again, it's really steep until you see it with your own eyes. It's hard to imagine running up or down that hill. But according to the Wells, there were tracker dogs that tracked a scent of Summer down a certain part of the hill, and they believe that she was taken down that hill and then possibly into a waiting car. One of the interesting things is when I interviewed the Hawkins County Sheriff today, he sort of said, well, yes, there were some scents that were picked up in different areas, and in a way he kind of downplayed that was a for sure thing, that she went down that part of the hill. He said there's a lot of different sort of working possibilities. So that was kind of interesting, because the Wells really believe, I mean, they almost stated as fact that she went down that one part of the hill. Same thing with the red truck. A lot of people make a big deal of this red truck, and it could be a big deal. There was this red truck spotted leaving the area around the time Summer went missing. The sheriff also said, yes, we're looking for the red truck. It's a possibility, but we don't even know for sure if it's connected. We don't know much at all about the red truck. So that's, you know. So the dogs, for those of you really into the case, if you have asked me about the dogs barking, there's this pack of dogs that lives on the Wells property, and they're very noisy, and why wouldn't they have barked if a stranger came? The interesting thing is we went to the Wells house 2 times, today and yesterday. When we went yesterday, we were there for probably 45 minutes, and there was no trace of the dogs. There was no barking, and you wouldn't even know dogs were there. Apparently, they roamed to different yards, and they weren't in the area at that time, so it was totally quiet yesterday. Today, when we were out there, the dogs were there, so. Did the sheriff comment on the muffled scream heard by the neighbor? Yes, I asked him about that, and again, kind of like the red truck, he said they're looking into it. They don't even really know for sure that it was a scream. It sounded like they're, again, looking into it, but he didn't say yes, we know for sure there was a scream and we think it's connected. He was almost skeptical. He's skeptical of a lot of this stuff. It's crazy. He says that they are basically at the same place in this investigation 5 months in as they were basically on day one. They really, according to him, know nothing. They've still basically uncovered nothing, and it is a huge mystery where Summer is. But he says they have no evidence that she was abducted or kidnapped. So it's really strange. So I got to get back in with Luis. He's over there editing our piece for 9 o'clock Eastern. But we will see you at 9. Thanks everybody for following along. We'll be on 9 o'clock Eastern with our big piece on Summer Wells, and then I'll be on Banfield also tonight. Thank you everybody for helping me out with this case, because I was busy with Houston, and as always, you guys were super helpful sending me everything that I needed to look into, so thank you again. So, okay, I'll see you guys at 9. I'll try to hop on later with Jennifer to kind of debrief about everything in our story, but I'm not sure we'll be able to, depending on the service, because we'll probably be driving later, but we'll give it a shot. So, okay, I'll talk to you guys later. Check it out. Check out our story, 9 o'clock Eastern, News Nation. All right, bye.